The 10 greatest male clay court players of the Open era, ranked. Clay court tennis is a difficult art to master, but some greats of the sport have found themselves at home on the dirt. Here, looking at a combination of factors including French Open success, overall titles won, win percentage, and era, we rank the 10 greatest male clay courters of the Open era. Muster's career is often undersold, though there is no denying he was one of the elite clay courters of his or any era. Of his 44 career titles, 40 were won on clay, a total only beaten by 2 men in the Open era, and he held an impressive win rate of 77.03%, the 10th highest of the professional age. The former world number 1 is probably best remembered for his 1995 French Open triumph, though he was also a 3-time Monte Carlo and 3-time Rome champion at his very peak. The first man to ever be ranked as the ATP world number 1, Nastase was a potent threat on all surfaces, but it was arguably on clay where he was the most dangerous. Nastase reached the first of his 5 Grand Slam singles finals at Roland Garros in 1971 and would win his first of 2 major titles at the tournament in 1973, one of 30 titles on the surface. His 30 titles on the dirt rank him 6th in the Open era, while he also sits 6th in terms of clay court win percentage, with a win rate of 77.99%. One of the most popular players of all time, former world number 1 Kuerten was the winner of 20 ATP Tour titles, with 14 of those coming on the dirt. While his haul of titles and win percentage, 69.88%, are not as high as some on this list, he was twice a champion in Monte Carlo, a winner in Rome and Hamburg, and a 3-time French Open champion. Kuerten triumphed 3 times in the space of 5 tournaments in Paris, lifting the title in 1997, 2000, and 2001 to cement his place as a clay court great. Had it not been for a certain Spaniard, Federer could have achieved even more on clay and been ranked higher up this list, though what he was still able to achieve was incredibly impressive. Federer memorably lifted the French Open title in 2009 to complete the career Grand Slam and reached a further 4 finals, cementing his spot as one of the best players of his era on the dirt, with 4 Hamburg Open titles, and a further 4 finals in both Monte Carlo and Rome. To the Swiss's name, few should doubt his pedigree on the surface, arguably the best player to never be ranked world number 1. Clay was the defining surface of Vilas' career, with the Argentine winning 79.9% of his matches. On the dirt, the 5th the most of the Open era. Vilas's haul of 49 titles on clay is only beaten by 1 player, while his 672 match wins on the dirt is an Open era record unlikely to ever be broken. He won both the 1977 French Open and US Open on clay, reaching a further 3 finals at Roland Garros, and was a champion in Monte Carlo, Rome, and Hamburg. Across his pioneering career. Kicking off the top half of our countdown is former world number 1 Wilander, whose dominance on clay at the peak of his powers is highlighted by his French Open triumphs in 1982, 1985, and 1988. Wilander reached a further 2 finals at Roland Garros and won 20 of his 33 career titles on the surface, with 2 Monte Carlo titles, an Italian Open title, and 3 Barcelona Open titles in his collection. Only 8 men in the Open era won more clay court titles than the Swede, whose win percentage of 76.68% ranks him 12th in the all-time standings. Lendl and Wilander are up against each other in the battle to be recognized as the greatest clay courter of their era, though it is the Czech who edges things overall. The former world number 1 won a staggering 81.03% of his matches on clay, a win rate beaten by just 2 men, while his haul of 28 titles ranks him 7th in the Open era. Lendl reached 5 Roland Garros finals and triumphed in 1984, 1986, and 1987, while also reigning multiple times in both Rome and Monte Carlo. Life on clay courts has not necessarily been easy for Djokovic, but the Serbian has undoubtedly proven himself among the very top dirtballers in the Open era. Djokovic's clay court success is undoubtedly highlighted by his French Open triumphs in 2016, 2021, and 2023, though he has reached 7 finals in total at Roland Garros. Despite being up against a certain Spaniard, the former world number 1 has also won 6 Italian Open titles, 3 Madrid Open titles, and 2 Monte Carlo titles, alongside the Paris 2024 Olympic gold on clay. Djokovic's 20 clay titles rank him joint 8th in the Open era, while his win percentage of 80.56% is the 4th highest of the professional age. Few have dominated on clay as much as Borg, who achieved an astonishing level of success on the surface before his early retirement at the age of 26. The Swede's haul of 6 French Open titles is beaten by only one man in the Open era, with Borg winning back-to-back titles as a teen in 1974 and 1975, before claiming 4 straight titles from 1978 to 81. Borg won 32 clay titles in total, the 4th most of any man in the Open era, with 3 Monte Carlo Masters victories and 2 Italian Open crowns among the leading trophies in his cabinet. Overall, he won a staggering 85.71% of his matches on clay, a record only beaten by one player in the professional age. Could anyone else have topped this countdown? Nadal's dominance on clay is one of the greatest achievements in tennis history and across all sports of general, and is highlighted by his staggering 112-4 win-loss record at the French Open. The Spaniard won a historic 14 titles at Roland Garros, the most titles any man or woman has won at an individual major, though he also dominated at multiple events. Nadal won 12 Barcelona Open titles, 11 Monte Carlo Masters titles, and 10 Italian Open titles, with his 63 overall titles on the dirt, the most of any man. He won an incredible 90.47% of his matches on the surface, cementing his place as the king of clay.